Vestiere Collective has released their first impact report. What is this? This is their 2023 report that covers a number of different things. Mainly it's about sustainability and how shopping secondhand and through different pre-loved online retailers like Vestiere and all of that has a really positive impact on the environment. It's worth a read anyway in case that's your, area of interest. But there were also some really interesting facts and figures around the most popular or most high sold, you know what I mean, designer pieces, designer brands, and I thought that it would be interesting to sort of go through, and I thought that some of the findings are shocking, and that is what I'm here to talk to you about today. Let's start off with the brands. They've split the brands up into two sections. You have designer brands and you have luxury brands, okay? So let's do luxury, and they've sort of made this ranking based on product sales, page views, and items saved, okay? Coming in at the top is Chanel. Now, this is not surprising for a couple of reasons. Number one, Chanel, despite all of their tomfoolery and ridiculousness, the aesthetic of Chanel will always be very sought after, and even with Carl's passing and Virginie coming in, and whether or not you like Virginie's collections, they've been doing really quite successfully. But price increase after price increase, more and more people are turning to pre-loved and resale sites like Vestiere Collective. This, by the way, this video isn't sponsored by them. I'm just going to be saying them a lot because it's their report, you know what I mean. Turning to more and more of these sites to get good deals. People don't want to pay $10,000 for a medium classic flap. That is, no. In what world? Apparently in the world of 2023, people are turning to resale sites. And also, I briefly mentioned this in another video. I came across it's a report based on UK only. And amongst high net worth individuals, Chanel is the most popular brand. That's the brand that they're shopping the most at. Interesting. I thought so too. Anyway, so Chanel is number one. Coming in at number two is Gucci, which kind of surprised me again because this isn't necessarily, I think because they're in a little bit of a state of flux with Alessandro Michele leaving. We're now waiting to see the new creative director's vision in September. And, things have been maybe a little bit more up and down over the last few years, but Gucci is also seen to be one of those brands that the pricing is a lot more approachable compared to something like Chanel, and they have a wide range of pricing and products. So there is something that is more, quote unquote, I don't like this term, but entry level, all the way up to exotics and ready to wear and all of that. They also have a wide ranging aesthetic, even though everybody thinks it's like crazy and loud and over the top. Mostly. But there tends to be a lot there for a lot of different types of people. Number three, Louis Vuitton. This is not surprising. Biggest luxury brand in the world, constantly gets talked about, is constantly doing something, having a new celebrity ambassador, blah blah blah, collaborations, capsule collections. They know how to keep relevant. There we go. Maybe that's the right word to say it. Number four, we have Prada. And this one sort of surprised me a bit. The popularity of Prada's nylon bags, the re-editions and all of that. Again, coming to the pre-loved sites for a good deal on it. These are pieces that are trendy. They're not as trendy as some other trendy pieces, right? But in the past couple of years, they've really had a lot of limelight shed on them. Ready to wear as well. People have really been loving Prada for the more sort of simple, classic, with just a little Prada logo vibe. And then we have Dior. Now, Dior is an interesting one because sort of notoriously you can get really good deals on Dior on pre-loved because it doesn't tend to hold its value the same way that Louis Vuitton and Chanel does. Now let's move on to designer brands, because the first one threw me. I was like, really? If I had to, they put me in a corner and they were like, right, top whatever designer brands, I don't think I would have even uttered Moncler, but Moncler is number one. And apparently I was talking to somebody the other day who used to work in retail, and they were like, Moncler jackets sell themselves. You don't even have to open your mouth as a sales associate because they are so entrenched in that luxury down jacket category that it's like, oh great, what's that? Is that a flurry of snow falling down? Brilliant, let's go get a Moncler. There's very, very little competition within that realm. It's Moncler, it's Canada Goose, really. But Moncler definitely does have that little bit more of that sort of European ski look, you know? The second one is Jacquemus. And rightfully so. Whether or not I like all of Jacquemus's pieces or all of that is by the by, because I'm just really happy that as an independent brand, he's experiencing the level of success he is. That is a brand that also knows how to ride the wave, knows how to keep themselves relevant. Their marketing is very good, very on the nose. They had these pop-up shops all over the world where you could get limited edition colours of some of the popular pieces. They're on it and they're smart. Number 3 is McQueen. Now, I would be surprised here, and I think there's really only one reason as to why McQueen is in this list. I'm a Lee Alexander McQueen stan. That man, I can't. And after his untimely passing, I was always like, it's not McQueen without Lee, sort of thing, right? So I've not been the best. And so I really don't think it's the bags, it's the clothes, it's the sodding oversized sneaker, let's be honest. That's the only reason it's here. And I'm sorry to say, look, I used to have a pair, right? Back in the day, early days of this channel, I was out here doing reviews. I wore those shoes for a long time. Now I'm not a fan. So I would not be surprised if that is the reason why they're number 3. Number 4, Acne Studios. Again, a little bit shocking. I'm like, oh, people like, you know, Acne Studios that much, fine. And then number 5, Isabel Marant. Again, bit of a okay one for me. Wasn't seeing that one. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Now let's get into the best performing items on Vestiere Collective. Apparently they have like over 4 million listings in the year of 2022, okay? This is based on sales data, okay? This is not saves, this is not page views, this is cold hard cash. The Gucci belts, between 2021 and 2022, sales went up 15%. This one threw me because I thought we were done here, but no. If you're a seasoned subscriber, you know how I feel about the Gucci Marmont belt. Oh, that belt, that sodden belt, and I've never seen eye to eye with that belt. It's the font, it's the fact that it was everywhere, big, small, pearl encrusted, all of it. It was, again, living in a place like London, you couldn't leave the house without being accosted by this belt. Good for Gucci, good for them, right? Because they're milking it off this strip of leather with a lovely buckle, okay? I'm sure it's great and hefty and good quality. I personally cannot simply stand it. In the event of an apocalypse, that belt, much like cockroaches, will outlive us all, okay? Because this was a very trendy piece. Not trendy in like, when you break it down. When you break it down, it is a belt with a belt buckle. There's nothing inherently trendy about it. It's the fact that it got so popular so quick that made it the most trendy item to have for a couple of years running, right? And so with trendy items, what happens most of the time is that they die as quick a death as they did, you know, shooting up into the spotlight. Oh, no, 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 no. With the Gucci belt, how very dare you assume such a thing? Because here we are, and their sales went up. They went up last year. Okay? So, shocking news, I know. Look, if you have that belt, more power to you, go off, right? This is a personal vendetta I have. It's between me and the belt, it's not between me and you. The next item I'm excited about because it's going to be one that, although sales increased for this bag 22% last year, these are going to continue going up. This is the Louis Vuitton Speedy. And you're there going, why are you excited about this? Why do you think people are going to be buying it more and all of that? First of all, price increases, but not to the same extent of like Chanel, okay, and Chanel bags. But the fact that Louis Vuitton Speedies, grab them while you can, okay? They are going to be a trendy little piece to have. This is a classic bag. This is a bag that is on those designer bags you know you should have within your lifetime, or the best designer bags to buy and all of that, okay? It's always on the list. With Pharrell putting a really big spotlight on the Louis Vuitton Speedies for his first men's collection, hype in general for the Speedies is going up, not just the ones from his collections, okay? And a lot of people are looking to the pre-loved market for interesting variations, epi-leathers, maybe sizes, styles, whatever designs that they don't do anymore. So I would not be surprised if sales continue to rise. A couple of fabulous fashion people that I follow, Camille Charrier and Brenda Hashtag, have both also predicted the rise of the Speedy. Best believe that will continue. Back to Moncler and my shop. Look, I'm not a Moncler girl. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know the ins and outs of the brand and the way that the down feathers lay inside the quilting of the means that your heat is locked in. I've got no idea, okay? I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend. I sort of thought, once again, Moncler, like, it's a classic, it's entrenched, right? And what I mean by that is, I'm not surprised that people are buying it. I'm simply surprised by the fact that sales have gone up, right, which implies like a level of popularity in general. 51% last year. I'm like, what? What is going on within the world of Moncler? I don't know, I can't tell you, but good for them. I mean, they're doing a lot of different collaborations within the brand for different interpretations. Is that helping? Unclear. Then you have Louboutin. People still want a classic So Kate. People still want a nice red bottom clip-clopping away, as you say, sayonara to your ex. They went up 10%, not crazy. You see, something like this I'd sort of expect, because it's a classic, it's a constant in luxury fashion. People are always going to want to buy them, whether or not they're having their moment to shine or not. Hermes Click H, up 11%, again, sort of similar thing as the Louboutins, I'm not surprised. And finally, the Cartier Tank Must, up 57% last year. Now, I did a video on watch trends. I will have that linked below. Throw me a view if you want to. I thought it was quite interesting. But anyway, part of what I said in that is you're seeing this shift towards, like, I know we hate it, the quiet luxury, the old money sort of aesthetic and all of that. And Cartier really embodies that as especially within their watches. So the fact that we're seeing the Tank, one of their most like popular classic watches, gain more popularity over the last year is very unsurprising. So 57%, and 57, that's huge. That is a really big shift in, and again, we're seeing more people turn towards the watch market, less so with Cartier actually, so this point is actually defunct, but with production issues over the pandemic and all of that, lots of people turning to resale because you just couldn't get it from the retail stores, right? Less so with Cartier. Cartier has always sort of been, but you can always get, but the resale market for watches has always been really great because again, you can get really good deals. Now, they also have some information on their most, what have they called it? Extraordinary sales? Exceptional sales, okay? And there's 3 of them, and I thought that we would go through them today because they're quite interesting. Number 1 is the Nike Air Force One Louis Vuitton collaboration with Virgil Abloh, okay? As we know, the drop itself was crazy, it sold out, it was only available to like friends and family of the house, blah, 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 all of this business, okay? This is not surprising it's here. So apparently this pair spent 12 days online and sold for 11,500 euros. The next one again, another icon. This is the Christian Dior newspaper dress by John Galliano that famously Carrie wears in Sex and the City. But overall it is a absolutely fabulous dress. 5 days online, sold for 14,500 euros. And finally, the Hermes Birkin Faubourg 20 centimetre, okay, so this is an even tinier Birkin. This is like a Birkin this long. That long of a Birkin. How cute. It has the windows of the Hermes store, Faubourg store on it. They do these in a few different colours, blah, blah, blah. It says here, an extremely limited edition piece. The Birkin Faubourg was created for Hermes VIP customers in 2019 as an homage to the Rue du Faubourg Saint-Honoré Paris store. This spent 182 days online, yes, because the amount that I'm about to tell you is rather astronomical. And it sold for €158,000. Were you as surprised as I was by some of the findings and what are still very popular designer pieces? Were you any more surprised than I was about the Gucci Marmont belt? I'm going to leave a list to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. In the words of my father.
If you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.